There we go. All right. So, welcome to training for the new website. So, what we're going to do is we're going to keep it fairly high level. Nothing is going to be too crazy hard to maintain, I hope. What we'll do is we'll walk through how to use the page builder tool that's on the back end, and then, make tweaks to copy, make tweaks to links, pictures. Then we'll also talk through how to add blog posts, how to add partners, and then how to add new communities. The last two are pretty similar, but slightly different. So right now, whoops, wrong button. Not what I meant to do. So what you'll do right now, this is still on our dev site because I know we had a couple of last minute partners that or not partners, communities that we wanted to add. But what you would normally do is you would go to agefriendlynj.org and you're going to add WP admin to get
Are
in.
you sharing your screen? Do you want to share your screen?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was. Thank you. So what you're going to do,
Okay, that's the same as our website, so that's good.
give me 1 second, guys.
I think we'll need some written instructions. I'm making my own, but
I
Well, that's why I asked. I asked him
Did
to
you ask
record
that?
it too,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah,
I
he
could
said
watch
record
this
it.
and yeah.
But
that was
I'm really hoping that it is. I think it's going to be similar to the NJ All website, starting with the WP admin. That I can do.
okay.
And you know
All
what?
right.
I forgot to pass on the comment about the background looking like a dirty screen. I forget which one of you, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Yep. So what you're going to do, you're going to go to WP admin and something like this is going to pop up.
Yeah.
So you're going to add in your username credentials. I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second so I can enter mine.
We're each going to have our own credentials.
Correct.
Okay.
Unless you want one, it's totally up to you.
If there's one, then maybe only one of us can go in it at any given moment, which might be good.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good with one.
Okay.
Better chances of us remembering one than 3 different ones.
Is it going to have the two-factor
Authentication?
Yeah, because when you have one and it has like it only goes to one person's phone number, that can be a problem.
Not by default, no. It doesn't have two-factor.
Okay.
That's something you usually have to pay for WordPress.
Oh, okay.
So we don't normally put it on. We leave that as an option if you want to add it later. You can add it.
I mean, I don't think we need it. I just wanted to make sure because that
just don't share the password around with too many people, and you should be fine.
Okay.
Cool. So what you will see is you'll land on this dashboard, and there are a bunch of different things over here. The most important things that you're going to worry about are posts, events, pages, skip media, communities, and partners. Flamingo and contact, we'll talk about that, but quickly, this is basically just where your contact form submissions go to. So we'll talk about that, but you shouldn't have to do too much with it. It should just be there if you want to access it. There's also some other goodies down here that we'll go through Divi, but the rest of them, it's really up to you if you want to explore them or not. There's nothing you're going to break, though. So first things first, I just want to walk you through Divi and how it works. So Divi is a page builder. So when we build the website, we do things both with code and with a front-end page builder. So there are some things that are going to be hard to change. So for example, the blog page, the structure itself, you're going to need to code to change just because to do it, we needed to do it with code. With any of the main pages, though, you can do that all with the front end builder. Most of it shouldn't need any additional coding. So if we go to the home page, if you want to edit the page, you click Edit with Divi. And what'll pop up is the page with all these nice little boxes. So this is my preferred way to do it because I'm a very visual person. So I like to see everything. You can technically do it with a different view. I don't recommend it. It's harder to use. It's harder to see what the actual end result is going to be. So from here, for the most part, you can change anything you want. You can even add things. So where we'll start is we can add something, or we'll add stuff later, but let's talk about editing first. So this all has a bunch of different modules in here, and you'll see these little menu bars pop up when you hover over something. So the way it's structured is you have basically 3 layers. You have a section, a row, and then you have your modules. So think of it as a big wrapper, essentially. Like, think of like a candy bar, like a Reese's peanut butter cup. A section is your big outside wrapper. A row is the little like plasticky piece they put around the peanut butter cup. And then your modules are going to be the actual peanut butter cup, the actual content. So any of this is editable, like I said. So all you're going to do is you're going to click on this little gear icon. That one's actually a bad example. But so you're going to click on this little gear icon. And then what'll pop up is, depending on what the module is, it'll give you a bunch of options, essentially. So, for example, this is the blog module. So this is bringing in some of the blog posts. So you can pick the type of post you want.
Mhm.
I'm not going to go deep in that yet. You can pick your layout. You can set all these different kinds of settings. And then once you set whatever settings you want, you can either click the X, you can undo what you did, you can redo, or you can save your changes.
Mhm.
So just so that I don't mess anything up, I'm just going to discard. You can also move stuff around if it's existing, and this goes for any of the levels as well. So like if I wanted to move the picture row below this section, the blog section, all you do is drag and drop it.
Mhm.
And then if you do something that you don't like, there's this handy time button down here. You just go back and press to whatever time period you want to go back to.
Where was that? I'm sorry.
Yep, it's right here. It's the time icon, the little clock icon.
Okay.
So that's like the kind of reverse button.
Right. It's like think of it like a log that you can go back and restore at a previous time. So like if you made a bunch of changes and you're like, I don't actually like what I did, you could say, like, there's only one right now, but for every change you make, there will be an additional log item. So if you're like, oh, I moved this too far and I don't like how wide this is, you make something too wide, you can come in here and go, oh, okay, I'm going to go back to when I loaded the page.
Mm-hmm.
The other important thing in this is to make sure you hit save often, and always, if you make a change, that you be sure you want to keep it first, but hit save. Divi can get buggy sometimes. Not usually, not often, but on occasion it gets buggy and you'll lose your changes. Just make sure you're hitting save once you've done something that you're happy with.
But just to make
And-
sure, save
Mhm.
just saves the draft. It won't publish till you publish the changes.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
But yes, so for a live page, yes, save will publish whatever you did.
Oh, right. So when you,
Right.
if we're changing something on this page and we hit save, then
Right.
it goes.
It'll send it. Right.
Oh, okay.
Live.
Hmm.
So that's why I said make sure you're happy with it first. But
But is there a way to like say, let's say you got to make a lot of pages to a lot of changes to a page. Not that I think
Yeah.
that would happen often, but like if you want to see what it looks like before you publish, is there a way to like do that? I guess.
well, so this visually
Mhm.
should be how the page actually looks when it's live. So like this isn't different than how it looks if you just went without editing it, without like being a normal user. The only thing that you won't see is this is a gray box because we customized it. But other than that, this is what the page should look like. So you should see your changes live already. And this is what it should look like live. If you add in some code, sometimes that can cause issues, but I don't think you guys are going to be doing that. So
So
really,
oh,
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
if Colleen made some changes and she wanted Kathy and I to look at them, so she
Yeah.
made her changes and then she hit save. So then we can look at them, but can the whole world see them?
Yes, it does also save as a draft. So like if you're editing and you don't hit save, Divi does save it as a draft at a couple of different touch points. However, you could lose your work because there's not like a test save, the preview save type thing. It's kind of is what it is. It either uses its autosave or you publish it. There's really no in between option. And that's just WordPress in general. There like there's autosaves that you can see your draft, but unless you turn it back to a draft, yeah, everyone can see it. That
So-
said,
Okay. Good. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
if you are going to make wides, you're going to make a ton of changes to a page and you do want to share it first before publishing it, you could duplicate the page. So Divi, the nice thing about it is it kind of works like, what's the best? It kind of works like Office in that, say I wanted this on a different page, right? Like I made this change, I added a picture or something. What I could do what I could do is I could say, okay, so I want that picture on the building age-friendly communities page. And I did warn Kathy, our server is a little slow at the moment. We're dealing with a bot attack with another client, and it's making our load times not great at the moment. But yeah, say I wanted to add to the bottom here, I wanted to add that picture in, or add that section in. What I could do is there's literally copy and paste functionality. So like if I want to save this on use on different parts of the site, I could save to my library. If I just want to copy it, I can press copy section. And where is, and paste the section, and it'll literally show up on the other page. So what you could always do is you could build a dev version of the page and then copy your changes in whenever you're ready to publish them.
I think so. Braxton, on that, then if we want to undo it, how long do the time stamp with the previous versions, how long do they stay on?
Yes, so the timestamps here, they should stay on for if you press save or if you leave the editing session, they'll disappear.
Okay. I think on
So
our website version, they're on like forever. I've got long lists of it that I could go back to, like something from. That's okay. I think that we're gonna change very little structurally or sections, at least for a
Yeah.
while.
Mhm.
So I
But
think
I
that
think like when I create a blog post and I want you guys to look at it, or if you guys are building out like something on the events page, like those are the things I envision, like we might want to say, oh, here's the event page I created for this. Can you guys look at it before it goes live?
well,
That,
that's different. So that you
oh,
can
that's
save a
different.
draft. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
we'll
So it's just these pages as you've designed them where you can't
right.
change them. But I don't think but I agree with Kathy. I don't think we're gonna change those a lot, except for maybe adding the new communities or new partner. Okay.
Because you'll see like this. This is a page that is physically here, but it's not live.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So if you wanted to create a new page, what you would do, there's this nifty under pages, there's add a new page. Hit that.
And what are the kind of things that we would create a new page for? I mean, I guess an event or no, an
So
event.
no. So
Like-
most of the content pieces you shouldn't have to create a new page for. From a website strategy standpoint, new pages should really be used for like big new initiatives or things that you need a dedicated section of your site that you're going to drive a lot of traffic to. So think not content like individual time-stamped content, more like if you start offering a grant to different communities, for example, maybe you want to have a page that's just about that grant and is encouraging people to sign up.
Hmm.
Versus if you want to set up an event, you're actually going to just go to events, add event.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And those, like you said, you can save it before it publishes.
Yeah.
Just
So
share
here,
it.
let's go through that quick, and then we can
Yeah. I
come
think
back.
that's what we're going to be doing more
Yeah.
in that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like
So
Colleen, the thing that I thought, like another, if we wanted to add a page, like if down the road we want to add a page on progress on the multi-sector plan on aging, we could add a page on that.
Yeah.
I think that for the at least the next, this is going to be rare that we add a page. We're going to be adding content.
Yeah, I
and
think
new
it should be our
materials
goal
the
to
page.
keep it simple, because
Yeah.
I know when we
Mhm.
kept adding pages to the other website, it just got really cluttered looking.
All right.
so for posts, you're going to go to posts. So you can see these are all the ones that we copied over from the old website.
Mhm.
So there's more, but you can search through them. So if you want to add a post, you're going to hit add post. And you're going to come into this view. So Kathy, you're probably used to this,
Yeah.
but this is like the standard WordPress content editing view. So what you can do is you add the title of your post. Whenever you want to add content for a blog post, be sure not to use Divi Builder. Don't use that. We already have a template set up for when you put the content in. Press the Use Default Editor button.
Use default editor.
So I'm just going to call this New Post. And then from there, you can put whatever you want in here from a content standpoint. So it says type dash to choose a block. So you can always click in here on this plus sign and choose from, there's a ton of content options that you can play around with. If you just want to type something, you can just type something.
Can we just cut and paste too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
from Word doc. Yep. So And then you can add it to this as you want to. It's basically like using Word. And then
Yeah.
you just have all your different modules that you can choose from
Wait,
to
I'm
add
going-
in.
Where would the graphic be, since a lot of the blog has a, a picture or a graphic with it?
Yeah.
How do we add
Yes.
that?
Yes. So what you will do is on the sidebar, there should be, where'd it go? Right here. There's a set featured image button. So you click that button, you click the image you want associated with it. I'm just going to use the logo for now.
Mhm.
And then it'll be added. So there's other things you can add in here too after you have your content.
Mhm.
One of them is an SEO keyword. So you can pick one based on what your content's about. You just pick a keyword that is featured throughout it and pop it in here. You can also edit the title that it shows up in or shows up as in Google. So you can change the title here. You can change the slug, so the backend URL. You can change the description that Google displays. So if you don't want it just to pull from the blog post, you have a byline you want Google to show, you can drop that in here. Other
I'm
important. Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Yeah.
Are you dropping in a headline separately? That's not the same as the title you're talking about, the SEO title, like the headline on the post. Do you enter that
can.
separately from the text?
You can, but you don't have to. So by default, it'll take whatever you put up here as your title. So like if my title is,
So if I
is
write like a whole blog post in Word and put a headline atop it, and then copy and paste the whole thing in, it goes in like it looks like in Word. You don't have to convert it to format.
oh, for the blog post itself, yes. So this is just text. This is just a text editor. So it basically is Word.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can put whatever you want in here.
Yeah.
And
So like and it should recognize links, pictures, anything relatively simple it should recognize.
will it turn it into whatever font size that is standard on the website, or
Yes. Yep.
it just does that automatically, and it'll bring in if I have linked items in the Word doc, like
Yes,
links,
it should.
it'll bring them over.
You can check too. There's this link button. So if it doesn't come through, obviously you should QC it. Just make sure, because sometimes it misses stuff.
Mm.
Because
I'm sorry, what does QC it mean? I don't know.
like quality check it. Like
Oh,
just
okay.
check to make sure. So like if I copy and paste in a link that is like if I say blog post and that should really direct to Facebook, for example, but it didn't come through, you can always add it after.
Okay. And so if we want to, I mean, there's the set featured image, which I know is the thing that shows up on the overall page. Does that have to conform to a certain size? And if so, can you show us how to size photos?
No, it does not. So everything is set up that it should normalize the sizing for you.
It'll do that. Okay, because our
Mhm.
current one does not, and it's a nightmare. And then if by chance you wanted to have like multiple photos with a blog post, like some that show up inside the
Yep, you can
text.
add those. So if you do it
So-
in Word, when you copy and paste, it should just auto copy and paste. If for some reason
Oh.
it doesn't, or if you write it in here, there is a ton of media options that you can add. So one
you're
of them
saying
is
I could bring
either,
it in with the photos in it?
yeah, you can copy and paste your whole Word doc
Oh, okay.
Wow.
with the photos and just paste it in. And if it
Oh,
doesn't work,
that-
there's
that'd
these
be easy.
different blocks. that you
And
can
I'm going to
use.
point out one thing that I always forget on mine is the sticky button down there on the right column under the publish.
Yeah.
Sticky moves it to the top, right? Makes it the most, it
Mm.
moves the new addition to the top of the pile.
Right.
Moves the new, what? The new blog
So what you
post?
just put in, it will move it to make that the newest top of the pile blog. I always forget to do that on mine. So I publish a blog and then it doesn't show because it's like way down underneath all the others. The sticky
Oh,
button on the right.
well,
You hit
also everything is in chronological order for the blogs in descending
Oh,
order.
okay. Ah,
So it'll show the most recent one first.
Okay.
I gotta fix that on my website.
Trying to move you guys around. So then to your question about a draft, right? So say you write a blog post. This is my great, wonderful blog post that I wrote, and I want to save it so that I can share it with someone else. You press the save draft button,
Mhm.
and then it's saved. Someone else can go in there and look at it. You can also look at it live. There's this button that looks like a computer.
Mhm.
It lets you choose the device type you want to look at it on. And I'll show a preview. So obviously there's not a lot here because there's nothing, but so it'll show the picture here, the date, title, and then
Okay.
your content will appear down here.
Sometimes websites like, does this unpublished page have a link you could, like, so I could just email Dorothy and Kathy Hit? I mean, they can get in, but like sometimes like Julia wants to see a blog post. So could I share a test link with her, or it's better to just share the Word doc?
You do have to be, so you do
Okay.
have to be logged in to see a draft.
Okay, so I guess I'll just keep it, I'll share it in Word and then enter it. I mean, the design is
can,
going to be uniform, so I don't think it matters. Yeah.
so if you wanted to, and I don't know how in the weeds you want to get, you could also in theory publish it and then
Mhm.
password protect it.
Mhm.
So it would still show up on the site. However, no one would actually be able to access it unless they entered the password.
Mhm.
I think that's getting too complicated at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
it's an option if you want to, but
And this doesn't happen that often, but I should ask. And if you want to update a blog post, let's say we write a blog post, that the state might be considering this, and then next week they do that thing, and you want to go back and update the blog post, do
Mhm.
you just at that point, can you update the previous one, or you just have to create a new?
Yeah. So
thing?
say I publish this, right?
Mhm.
So you can still go back at any time and update any of your blog posts. You
Mhm.
just, so like if I want to say, hey, I'm a blog post and I actually want to say, hi, I am not a blog post, you
Okay.
can just press save,
Okay.
change your changes, and then press, this will say save.
Mhm.
You can also change the backlink if you want to, because some of these will get long. If your blog post name is long, you might not want to, but you can. You can also at any time change the status between whether it's live or not. If you want it visible on the website, you click publish. If you want it visible only if someone's logged in, private. Otherwise, you set it to draft if you don't want anyone to see it at any time, even after it's published.
Mhm.
You can change
So
who the author. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, so if Colleen made a change and she wanted Kathy and I to see it, she could make it private for us to see before we make it go live. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But it'll still show up in the feed, in the blog feed. Now, depending on how much traffic you get versus sharing that out, or before you share that out on your socials, I don't have the metrics to tell you one way or the other, which is better. But in theory, you could do that. But either way, you're going to have to be signed in.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Does there is there a feature to when you publish a post, to click share it to your social? And do you recommend that if there is?
Yes. So this is hidden still, so it's not going to show up. But there is a tool that it'll show up on the side where it'll basically be like, I forget which ones we have set up for it. I want to say it's Facebook PDF. But yes, basically there's little circles that'll show up on the side of the blog post. Oh, it's down here. Shouldn't be down there, but it is right now. But it's Facebook, it's Twitter, and it's a couple of different things. Where are they? Yeah, so it's Facebook, Twitter, printing, or LinkedIn right now. And you can add to these as you want to, if there's other ones you want to give people the option to use. Those are just the main ones that folks use. So
Okay. So all you do is put
Hmm.
in your page link for each of those. Okay.
Well, so someone else will just click the button and then it'll bring them to a social network to share it. So like they'll have to be logged. If they click on the Facebook button, it'll go to their Facebook to share.
And that's that. Okay. So just back up. That's tools.
Yep. So tools, Monarch settings.
Oh, so I meant like when we post a blog and we want to put it on Facebook or LinkedIn, like at the same time.
This
Like
doesn't.
you want to post it separately, is what you're saying. Like you
Yeah.
want. Yeah, so it doesn't by default allow you to, you have to copy and paste it into those, either those platforms or into your social scheduling tool.
So,
You
but
could in theory do the same thing, right? Where you could just go to the page and go, okay, I'm going to click on share to Facebook
Mhm,
and share it. But
mhm.
there's no like
I just
default, I
want
press
the
publish and
short.
it goes out.
I just want the shorter link that you mentioned. So after we publish it and we want it on Facebook, maybe we should just make the shorter link if it's too long, like to put it up on Facebook.
You also can use a tool like Bitly.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
like a link shortening
I know
tool.
Bitly. Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions on blog posts?
No.
I think, Colleen, we could start with the blog that just went out in the August newsletter. If you want to do that as a practice later to load it.
Sure. I think is it in there? It might have been. No.
I don't know. It's
I don't think so. I don't think we
Oh,
uploaded
okay.
anything from August.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
last,
So it's up on the age-friendly blog now,
Yeah.
but do you?
because we could add that, like get on together later and practice and add that.
and you can also, just a heads up too, you can also change the published date. So like if I you published that on the old site already, or you can, maybe that went out on the 3rd, right?
Mhm.
When you go to publish, you can always change the date to the 3rd.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Then
You
can
should
you
do that.
do it the other way? So if she picks like the 30th, it won't be published until the 30th.
Yes, so you can schedule it too as well.
Mhm.
So what you would do for that is there's this scheduled, and then you pick the date you want it scheduled to go.
Okay, but you should do this before you publish it.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
When you say you should do this, you mean you should,
Change the date before
oh,
you publish.
yeah.
Yeah, schedule it
Right.
before you press publish.
So could that be another way
same thing
for
if
us
you-
to see? Would that be another way for us to see it before it's actually published? Like if Colleen makes a change, she could tell us she made a change and she has published August 15th. because we're going to review it today. And then if we need to make any changes, then she could tell it to publish it on a date certain, like the following day.
Yeah. Yep. You can change your publish date. You can change your scheduled date at any time. You can even go back. I believe you can still go back and reschedule it too. So like if you do publish it and take it down, you can then change the schedule to republish it as well.
Okay, so obviously, yeah, if we were making one and forgot to put an advance date and it published, then what you do is just unpublish right away
Yes.
and change the date. Okay,
Yep.
it's the fail safe. Okay, good.
And Google's not going to catch that either. Like it's like from an SEO standpoint, it's really not a big deal. As long as you're not like unpublishing it and republishing it and unpublishing it and republishing it. Like once it's up, you can edit stuff, you can still change stuff like we talked about before, but I wouldn't take the whole post back down. I would just save a draft. And then, you know, if you guys want to, again, this is all here. All of you will have access to this. So even Colleen, if you're working on this and you're
Mhm.
like, hey, I made an update, can you guys go in quick? You
Mhm.
should be able to do that.
Okay. What are these things on the bottom under SEO, readability analysis and needs improvement?
Yeah, so
What's
these are SEO. So this SEO plugin that we use tracks how easy it is for someone to use or consume your post. So like, for example, my post says blog post in it, so maybe my focus keyword is blog. So what it'll do is it'll give you some ideas for how you could improve the SEO of the post. So for example, there's no links. So and this will, until you save a draft or publish it, it's not going to give you any of this. It'll give you the text length and the other ones won't be correct. But so, you know, you could, it'll tell you need links. It'll tell you if your blog post is a good length or if it's too long or too short. It'll tell you if you have images, if the image has a alt description, basically just all the things Google looks for to pick up your posts.
And what is SEO, Brian? Braxton, I'm sorry.
Search engine optimization.
Mhm.
It's basically making sure something is easy to pick up for a search engine.
Yeah, I'm just thinking I'll use it like maybe artificial intelligence, like how it tells you to correct a word or
Right,
correct
it's
the
the same
spelling and
exact
things
thing.
like that.
It's the same exact thing. It's just a series of if-thens that are telling you if it thinks your content is going to get picked up or not.
Mhm.
Dorothy is the hip one of us. She uses artificial intelligence correctly.
Sometimes.
So, but that'll only tell you those tips after you publish it.
Some of them it'll be while you're editing, but some of them, like the links, will only be accurate after you at least save the draft.
Because I mean, I do put in some like terms when I write something, but you know, they're always the same, like aging or
And
long-term
that's
care,
fine.
whatever. And you know, I have no idea how searchable those terms
Yeah.
are. I'm just that's what I know. Well, that's what the topic is. So it would be, I guess, useful like to see what suggestions they made. But so if they make them after you publish it, I guess you could still go change it.
Oh yeah, you can change this
Edit a
focus
live
keyword
post.
at any time. So this is more of an indicator for it. This doesn't really mean anything. This is really just to tell you if you're focusing on trying to get found for the word age friendly,
Mhm.
and I add that in here, how good or bad the blog post is for that term.
Okay.
And then readability is exactly what it sounds like. They use the, I forget what model is, but they use a model to determine the reading level of the post
Oh, yeah.
and how easy it is for someone to read and consume. There are other features to this, like if you want to edit how it shows up on Facebook or on X, you can do that. I don't normally do that. I've one client total that we do that for. So it's really if you just want it to be different than what it, like if you want the name to be different than what it is on the site, or if you want this featured image to show up on the site, but you want another one to show up on social, that would be the only reason to do that.
We can wait till we get really good at it until we.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Any other questions on blog posts before we move on to, because I know we're almost at time.
No, I think events is the other thing that we need.
Okay, let me go through partners and community super
Oh,
quick because
yeah.
that's going to be really quick, and
Okay.
then we can go through events quick.
Okay.
So these two are very easy. It's the same exact steps as post. So you can either go to all communities and add a community, or you can just add a new community by hovering. For the sake of time, I'm just going to do it by hovering. So this is it. It's the same type of module, but it has a couple of extra boxes to check. So, for example, I'm going to let you guys do it because I don't have all the details, but let's say we wanted to do for Livingston for the community, right? So you're going to enter the name of your community. You're going to choose which county it's in. You're going to enter the population size. This should be a number, and you don't have to put commas or anything in it. It could just be a straight number. So I don't actually know what it is off the top of my head, but I'm just going to say 20,000. And then whatever link to whatever website they want us to push it to. You, for their logo to show up, you need to set that as the featured image for the post.
And if they don't have a logo yet, like would you recommend we like find, like some of the age friendly initiatives don't have a logo, but like their town might have a logo, or could
Yeah.
we do it without a featured image, without it looking too weird on the page?
If you don't have a featured image, what'll happen is it'll just be a blank box that appears above their name.
I think we could create something for them, Colleen. Like if they don't have something, then we could do, yeah, we could do something either.
You
a
could do
photo-
your logo too.
Yeah.
Like we can set it that if they don't have a featured image, it's just their logo
Yeah.
pops up,
Or
or
put
your
their
logo
name
pops up.
in a colored box and then post that until they get one.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too, Kathy. Like we
Yeah.
just write the name of the town.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm thinking if they want us to add like a town like Glen Rock or Oradell, which just kind of started,
Yeah.
maybe then like they don't have any kind of logo yet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that's for us to decide too, if if they don't have that or a website to connect, and we have to decide internally when we add somebody and all that. So
You can add one other piece. I already clicked out of it, but one other piece of this, you can add content in here. It will not show right now on the site for
What-
community specifically, because
But-
that's just not how the page is set up.
What kind of content would that be? What do you mean?
Like if you have, like if you want to like describe their here, let me show you with partners because it does
Okay.
show up for partners.
Okay.
So like if we wanted to do AFNJ, actually don't even have it added in here. You could write a little bit about what they are and what they do here,
Okay.
and it would appear on the site.
Okay.
So you'll see for this one, it's even easier. All you got to do is enter their name and then enter whatever website the partner
So
wants us to
these
go
don't
to.
have an image we have to worry about, which is
They
good.
do, yes. So they do
Oh,
as
they
well.
do?
It's the same thing
Oh,
though. It's
okay.
just you just set it
Okay.
as the featured image. And it's the same thing. If they don't have a picture and you don't know what to put, you can either just put your logo or you can just leave it blank and it'll just be a blank box over top of their name.
Okay.
All right, let's speed run events. So for events, there are a lot of settings here. You really don't have to worry about most of them. The main thing is going to be adding a new event. So events will only show up on the site if they are in the future. Previous events will still exist as a post, but on your main pages, they won't show up. So someone could still access the page. It just won't show up on like our events page or on the home page. So for events, you basically just fill out this form.
Mhm.
So, this is a test event. This is the description of my event. You set a start and end time. I'm just going to leave it as is, but you can change to whatever you want. This is kind of a fun feature that I like a lot. You can make venues for reuse. So like I have a venue called test that I set up. So you can literally enter information about the venues and then you can reuse it multiple times if it's a place that you know it's going to be at a lot, or if it's like a recurring event, for example. So you pick whatever your test venue or whatever your venue is. Again, I have test. You can enter, I don't know, test community center. And then it'll have you fill out the information about whatever that is. So I'm just going to say 1, 2, 3. I'm just picking random things. None of this means anything.
So what if it's somebody else's event that you want to feature on your page? So
Mhm.
like an example being that like NJR has an annual conference every year.
Mm-hmm.
It's NJR's event, but for the Age Friendly Alliance, we'd want people to.
Yeah. We
So
can add that in the same way, like the same, just use their web. We wouldn't need to set up a new web link. We could just enter their link. I do that sometimes with people.
So, fun fact, I already set up NJR as an organizer. So you can set up an organizer for the event if it's not you. So
Mhm.
all you do is it's the same exact thing. So I have NJR set up, but say it's a group event. And I want to add another organizer. You just
and
fill
then
out their information here.
oh, and I see there's an event website, so then you would just redirect people to that link.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Because that's what I think, and we're going to have a lot of events that aren't like our alliance doesn't do that many
Yeah.
like, big public events, but we would want to make people aware of other, meetings on the subject of aging. And
Yep.
okay, all
And you
right,
have complete flexibility for that.
okay.
And then Braxton, after the event, if it was recorded, we put that in the event website. Where would we park the recording?
Yeah, so like if the event's over and you were pointing to their sign up, if there's a recording, yes, you could put the recording in there.
Okay.
Keep in mind, like I said, once the event's over, it's not going to show up on the page anymore. It'll have its own dedicated page that someone could reach via Google, but there's not a way from the main website to get to historic
Okay.
events. At least
But
right now.
I don't think that matters, Kathy, because all you would want is to have a link to send people to, hey, check out the recording. Like that's more something we would like email to somebody who missed the event,
Yeah.
right?
Or I was thinking, I thought that the past ones would stay on because then people could, if they're on the website exploring, they could look at past recordings.
They still, like I said, the posts and the pages will still exist. There just isn't somewhere for someone to easily access it. So
Okay.
they'd have to find the event. That's something you guys could add later. It just doesn't exist right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can talk about that later.
And then same thing with the featured image. If you know that for an upcoming event, just going to use this one. So this one does not have the fun buttons up here, but you can still save and preview a draft. So just save draft, preview, and the event will look like this.
All right.
Okay.
So I know we are at time and I have to bounce, but I want to make sure I answer any questions you guys
Yeah.
have. So what questions do you have?
So when will we put it live?
Whenever you want. It's good to go. So we
Colleen,
can.
do we want to like practice? We can load up the latest blog and work on it, and then when we're ready, tell Braxton, or you want to set a date for it to be live?
Well, we needed to add that content on the success stories, which
Yeah.
is still to come. So, I don't have an answer for like
Okay.
when.
How about
If
we
you're asking.
set up a time that the three of us can get on and play with it and make sure we understand it all, and then maybe go back to Braxton with any questions, and then we can pick a live date.
That's fine.
Okay.
I will
Great.
set you guys up with a username today and send it
Okay.
to you to play with. I'll set up just one for now. But yeah, before we switch it live, just let me know, because once it's going to move to a completely different server
Yeah.
when we add the domain name to it and set it live.
Yeah.
So when we do that, if you add any content after the point we start doing that transition, which takes about a day, that content won't be added to the new server.
Okay. All right. So we'll set up a time for us to all get on together. I'll email you both later.
Okay, just a quick question before Braxton leaves. Are you guys okay with the, what I call the dirty look? If
Oh
you
yeah,
are,
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah. We can talk about that quick.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I was thinking it looked like marble, but then I think, oh yeah, that does look like you gotta wipe my screen.
yeah,
it's
first
paint.
time I thought it looked like marble, I guess, because I didn't notice it.
Well, so it's paint. We can change it to marble if we want, if you want a different background. That's also changeable at any time, by the way. Where is actually for yours? I think it's set up on the pages themselves.
For Dorothy, were you thinking of making it plain white?
That's what I was thinking. If you guys think so, I thought so. It just looks a little messy. I'm left-handed, so I'm used to smudges all over my page, and it just kind of reminds me of that. I'm like, oh no.
So what we could also do is add some more white on top of it too. So it's a little less visible, the texture.
Mm-hmm. And it looks a little more marbleized, like a kitchen counter.
Yeah.
So anytime for these sections, you can change the background image. So it's all just based in your media setup. So you can add something at literally any time.
Okay.
So you could decide you don't want every page to have that exact thing and you want one page to not have any picture. And if you don't want it to have any picture, you just go to the picture option and press delete
Okay.
and it'll be just pure white.
Yeah, I think that's good. Wow. So much control and power.
I know.
Let it go
It's
to our head.
frightening.
All right.
So I'll send you a link and domain credentials, play around, let me know what questions you have, and we'll go from
And
there.
if you could send us this recording too, so.
Yep.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much. Hey, Dorothy, we're supposed to meet at 12. Can we make it 12:30?
Yeah, sure. You want to go up to our regular spot?
Yeah, I have a meeting at 11 now.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
All right. Thank you so
Great.
much, Braxton.
Yeah,